How's this from her? So that's not David, I think I got
A little bit closer, as long as it's just gonna be the three of you. If Laurel comes, we'll back up. Check there.
Water commission people would have three extra. And who's gonna stay? One.
Okay, here comes Laurel. There we are.
Hey.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you're good.
Oops, this is the wrong meeting. There we go. It's like 20 minutes.
All right.
There we go. That's the stuff.
And you still have 2 minutes.
No, that's sort of up the coast a bit between the two towns. Yeah,
Just the bar.
this weekend. So we, oh, by Situate. No, no, whenever I went, their folks moved down to the Cape, but we just kind of stuck around right there in Situate.
That's a cool area.
Yeah, oh yeah,
It's a cool area. So is Duxbury.
yes. Yeah, really, yeah, they're tired of it.
Was she born?
Yes, she was her whole life until she went to college. Yeah. The dad is from Back Bay, and they put the light in the park.
Okay.
Street light. Town in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Today? Oh, what was it? It's been out. So. It's a guinea pig light.
One more. Oh, and okay, so Bill's also joining. Bill's here if you want for when you get to the water commission part,
Okay.
which that's number 1, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna put him in then, rather than doing that later.
Did you see, I just sent an email and they had the way to pronounce his name?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make that mistake because I'm gonna turn it over to somebody else.
Okay,
Is Bill on?
yes, Bill's on, and we're just almost 5 o'clock.
David Genuine.
It's gotta be 30 seconds.
Gentlemen.
Genolet.
All right, we got.
It's probably that's a French name. Genolet, yeah. Yeah. He's just an architect.
Thank you.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to call to order the special Harpers Ferry Town Council meeting, November 29, 2021. Christian, would you do the obligatory reading?
You bet. Until further notice, the Corporation of Harpers Ferry governing and deliberative bodies will hold meetings and/or hearings virtually via Zoom webinar, which provides for public participation during the public comment period when applicable and when posted on the agenda. Alternatively, the public may watch meetings by YouTube, video live stream, or listen by telephone. These options comply with the Open Governmental Meetings Act.
Well done, Christian. Thank you. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Do I have a second on the motion to approve? We have a second from Laurel. Any discussion on the motion to approve the agenda? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving, raise your hand. Jim, you approving?
You have to raise your vocal hand. Is he there? In the dog.
Jim, you're muted.
Jim, oh.
Yeah, the dog does not get voted.
Can you?
Oh, there's flowers.
About
Right, so
now.
we need-
Oh,
Good.
yeah, we got you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, so
Thank you.
5-0. By the way, for the record, all members of the council are present with the exception of Kevin and Chris. And Jim is via Zoom. And Bill is also via Zoom, who will come in, I guess, on the first agenda item. The first agenda item is Discussion action on approval to appoint a Bolivar representative to serve on on the Water Commission. Recall we had an individual approved a month or so ago, and then that individual ended up pulling their submission. So now we have another candidate submitted and recommended by Bolivar. And Bill, are you prepared to walk us through? We all have read the Vita sheet on David, but could you kind of go through this with us, and then before we take a vote?
I don't actually have his resume.
Okay, that's fine. Is there anything that you want to add?
I wanted to, the things that stood out to me for him were his interest in the community. He's relatively new here, but I think that's a perspective we need. We've run a long time with sort of the same cast of characters shifting in and out. And we've got some committed interest from someone who's got a different perspective and seems eager and willing to work. So I'm excited about the possibility of Mr. Gentilat joining us.
Okay. Laurel, do you want to add anything? Being a member?
Well, I'm pleased that David would like to help work on the many issues that come up in the Water Commission, and I'm thankful that he's for his service.
All right, and I'm also thankful for Mayor Detmer for putting this high on the agenda in Bolivar. And I appreciate her forwarding this information to us. This is an important position. It's obviously right now, with everything that's going on, as we know at the water plant, it is critical that Bill and Laurel and Christy have the individuals to work with them to get this very, very difficult project through, or projects through. And I think that this will go a long way in assisting with that. Christy, you want to make a question?
Yeah, a couple of things. One is, when does the term start for this individual? Is
Right
it
away.
January or this month?
Right away. Soon as we can get, if we approve, I will swear him in. And his term actually starts the minute he's approved this evening.
So he's not taking over from prior.
Right, that was my other question.
No, there was,
This is a new position, right?
yeah, this is a new position.
There's more than one vacant position on the Water Commission.
But this is the Bolivar representative.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah.
that's a,
This is
Yeah.
This
that one-
position did not exist
That's
before.
true.
Remember, we had to go through the ordinance.
Correct. That's exactly right.
so henceforth, this seat will always start on this day. So
Right, but it will be, if we approve the date and time that we approve it tonight is when the term begins. Okay. Is there any other, before I call for a motion? As quite as Bill said and Laurel alluded to, it's quite an impressive background for him, and I appreciate his willingness. And by the way, I don't know if you had a chance to read all the very nice letters of recommendation that he received. So I think that's also a positive testament to David. So the chair will entertain a motion.
oh, yeah, I'll add to that. Just
I'm sorry,
the breadth of experience and the different experiences should be good. We're dealing with the waterworks where there's always something new that comes up.
Yeah, and I was excited. He was he had an economics degree
Yeah.
from the University of Virginia, and he was a financial advisor,
There you go.
like me. So that background will be very beneficial for what he's doing.
Okay. I'm not positive. Is this an appointment or what's the procedure?
We just voted.
Oh, is that nomination?
A nomination? Okay. I move to nominate David Gentilat to,
No,
Each person has to nominate.
oh, I see.
What's that?
It's a nomination, so doesn't each person have to nominate?
Okay, so the nominee has been brought to the floor and now we go around, but
vote on it, right? I don't think this is a normal motion.
I see.
It's because it's a nomination. Kevin is got nominated.
Right. So one person nominates and then you say, I vote for that.
Okay, I nominate David Genoway to occupy the bottom seat of the Waterworks with a term beginning November 29th, 2021.
I'll call roll. How's that? Laurel? Aye or nay?
Yes, the aye.
Christian? Aye or
Yes,
nay?
aye.
Storm? Aye or nay?
Aye.
Jim? Aye or nay?
I don't see the dog anymore.
Jim, you have to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Aye or nay, Jim, on the applicant?
He's muted again.
Somehow you got muted again.
This is great when it works.
Oh, every time, that's so weird. You're unmuted for like a second and then it like remutes. Why don't you put your video back on for a second? Give us a thumbs up.
Yeah, that's all we need. This picture.
You're unmuted now, so you could give us a yay.
Aye. Thank you.
So let the record reflect, we have a unanimous approval of the nominee at 5:08 PM on November 29th. Appointment is effective right now. Okay. All right, anything else on that, Bill? You have anything else on that item?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Bill. Take care.
Okay, second item of business. Discuss an action on approving travel expenses for mayor to travel to Charleston to meet with several legislative department heads. And I will be meeting with several people, starting on December 7th. With Senator Rucker and Delegate Steele. Delegate Steele is the chair of the government organization. December 8th, I will be meeting with Senator Rucker and Secretary Mitch Carmichael. And Secretary Carmichael is the Secretary of the Department of Economic Development. December 8th, I'll also be meeting with the Secretary of the Department of Transportation, who also serves as the Commissioner of the Department of Highways. And then I have tentative times, but not the date and time yet, working with the Director of Tourism for the state, and that hasn't been confirmed yet, and either the governor or the governor's representative. And my purpose in traveling is to promote Harpers Ferry in a lot of different endeavors. I plan to talk about our issue regarding matching funds for our grants. I plan to talk about infrastructure. I plan to talk about tourism, ways to enhance and a better experience for the tens of thousands of people that visit Harpers Ferry. And just all of those things associated with a small but important town that attracts hundreds of thousands of people every year. And I just want to impress upon our leaders that Harpers Ferry is a vibrant community, and that we receive a lot from the state, and we also offer the state a lot. And I think it's important, particularly when we're here in the Eastern Panhandle, that sometimes we're like the Maytag repair person. And I want to dispel that and set up, a good common relationship with all these department heads that that can do so much for us, and that we can do so much for them too in partnership. So I'm asking authorization. It's going to cost the town with two nights in the travel, probably somewhere around $700 or so. So I think an appropriate approval for an allocation, I guess not to exceed about $850, something like that, to cover the expenses. I think it will be well worth the 2-day trip and meeting all these dignitaries and promoting the well-being of Harper's Ferry. So if this group is so inclined, the chair will look forward to a recommendation.
I'll do a motion. I move to, I move to approve $1,000 of travel expenses for the mayor to travel to Charleston to meet with our legislatures and governmental leaders.
Second on the motion.
Second.
We have a second from Storm. Any discussion? Any discussion on the motion?
No, just thank you for going down to represent Harper's Ferry. It's a critical time. And to have their ear and attention right now to do a lot of good for the town and our community.
Thank you, Storm. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion? 3, Jim?
Aye.
Okay, I'm going to recuse myself from voting, so it'll be 4-0 with the mayor recusing.
And before you move on to your last item,
Pardon?
before you move on to your last item, I think Mr. Gillett may have joined as an attendee.
I just wanted to let you know, so you might be able to just convey to him that you're,
Mr. Genoway.
Are you member of the water?
Oh, very
he,
good.
yeah, and I don't think he was on early enough that I could have allowed him in. Yeah.
Okay, so David, are you online now?
Oh, hang on. There we go.
David, are you online now?
You're muted. There we, if you can just unmute, there we go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Oops, wrong person. Sorry.
Hi, is this Mr. Genoway?
No.
Is this Mr. Genoway?
It is not.
It's not.
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna remove this person then.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I've read that person.
You don't want to mute, unmute.
Yeah. Somebody in San Francisco.
Do we not know who this person is?
Somebody told me. No, didn't answer. It was from town hall.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, just stand by if you're observing this meeting.
Go on.
Just
More
move
time.
on.
Yep.
Okay. Before we get into agenda item number 3, which out of necessity with state code would require us going into an executive session. Before we get into that, Christian, you wanted to make a couple comments about Old Time Christmas? Or
Yeah, I
something?
do. For everybody here, the Old Time Christmas, it's our 50th anniversary for this event in the town. It starts this coming Saturday. I don't believe they'll have the opening ceremony on the Friday like they've done in the past. So it's, and by the way, this is a lot of different organizations are involved, Merchants Association, of course, Park Service is involved. Many residents in the town are involved, especially right now that what I wanted to talk about is the Harper's Ferry Holiday Tour of Historic Inns. And this is a fundraising event for the Harper's Ferry Bolivar Historic Foundation to restore Zion Baptist Church, which is their big project. So we have already sold 88 tickets to the event. Wow. Expect a lot of people this Saturday, coming Saturday. It starts at 10 to 4. And so the parking will be, I just want you to know where it is in case people ask, but the parking will be on West Bridge, where the Zion Baptist is. And of course, the Storm is going to help on parking. Yes, with Chris, 2 town council members are going to be working.
Oh, Chris Brunson, not Chris Craig.
Oh, not Chris Craig? Oh, okay. He's a great guy too. So, and then the overflow will go on Putnam. And then if we need more,
Overflow probably up Washington.
up Washington,
Yes.
and Bolivar, yeah. So it should be a great event. We hope to have 100 people sign up for this.
Great,
$20 ticket.
great. Thank you, Christian, for spearheading that. I know it'll be a success with you behind.
Not me, Lynn.
Oh,
Lynn.
yeah.
I'm just the messenger.
Yeah, politically, you gotta get that on the record.
For sure.
Holy moly.
She's busting herself doing it. Doing a great job.
Okay, the third item is discussion action on approving a candidate and salary to fill the town clerk position. As you know, we have advertised for a town clerk position several weeks ago. And it was an incredible number of applicants, 65 total applicants applied for the position. And the process was that the 65 that applied for the position, there was an initial culling down of that number to 7, like a best qualified, a BQ list. And then once the 7 were identified, they were interviewed, and the panel interviewing them, the initial interview was Christian, Patty Morris, and Chief John Brown. And I will say that the interviews were objective questions. The same question was asked of each applicant. And so at the conclusion of the interview panel got together and they reached a consensus on the top 3 candidates to go to the next level. The next tier, the final tier of interviews occurred a week ago, I guess, a week and a half ago. That team of the interviews consisted of Storm, the chief, and myself. We had our set of questions, and I will say that the same questions were asked of each candidate. And each interview probably took 45 minutes or so, maybe 50 minutes on one occasion. At the conclusion of the third interview, the 3 of us stayed around and we did our assessment and spent quite a bit of time going through a lot of material. And then we are prepared to, or I am prepared to discuss a recommendation this evening. However, in compliance with West Virginia Code 69A-4 subsection A, I am requesting authorization to go into an executive session to discuss matters arising from the appointment, employment, retirement, promotion, transfer, demotion, etc., involving a prospective public official for the Corporation of Harpers Ferry. Chair will entertain a motion to go in executive session.
So moved.
Do I have a second on the motion to go into executive session? We have a second from Laura. Any discussion on the motion to go into executive session? Hearing none, all those in favor of going into executive session?
We need Jim.
All right, Jim.
Jim's gonna
Aye.
say.
Aye. 5-0, we are in executive session at 5:20 p.m. on November 29th, 2021.
And we're now going to adjust for our executive session.
Hello.
Yeah, so,
That's fine.
All right, so I'm gonna show you why.
all right, you have the feedback loop.
Yeah.
Safety.
See. Now I unmuted you, so now we can hear this. Yeah.
So now we move to exit.
No, for radio.
I see.
I'm excited.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a big step.
I move to exit executive session.
Do I have a second on a motion to exit executive session? We have a second from Laurel. Any discussion on the motion to exit executive session? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, raise your hand. Thank you, Jim. 5-0. We're out of executive session at 5:45 PM, November 29th, 2021. Chair will entertain a motion.
I move to nominate Verlissa Pierre Breeden to be the town clerk to hire, actually, she. Within the advertised salary range.
Okay, everyone clear on the motion?
And to start as soon as possible.
Could you-
To start as soon as possible.
Okay. So go, Storm, go through just for the record.
Yeah, let me withdraw it
Okay, go ahead.
and restate. I move to nominate Verlissa Pierre Breeden to be the town clerk hired within the advertised salary range to start as soon as possible.
We have a second on the motion. We have a second from Christian. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, raise your hand. Motion carries 5-0. Do I have a motion to adjourn? We have a motion to adjourn from Laurel. Do I have a second? We have a second from Christian. Discussion on a motion to adjourn. Hearing none. All those in favor of adjourning, raise your hand. 5-0. We are adjourned at 5:46 PM, November 29, 2021. Thank you very much.